Welcome to episode 4 of Curds and Crypto. Today we're going to go over some news, some Defi-Gaming, and a little bit of everything in the crypto space. I hope you guys enjoy.
Hello, gents and ladies. Good evening. My name's Jake, and I'm here to discuss crypto news. The first one I have for you is the executive order by Joe Biden himself in relation to crypto regulation and the United States coming out with their very own stablecoin. Different organizations have weighed in on it, but what I have here for you is that in relation to it, having a stablecoin could fundamentally alter the role of both the central and commercial banking. Very big deal. Don't know what's going to happen with it. It's kind of all up in the air because they were quite vague on it. There's plenty of information to go around on the internet that you can believe or not believe depending on what you're reading, so feel free to weigh in yourself. Moving on to the next section, I have the BlackRock, which is, I said BlackRock, but I meant to say the fact that they're financial institutions because they have names that some people may not know. So BlackRock, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and State Street all plan to increase their assets in crypto exponentially, which means a lot. So they really want to join the crypto space and throw a bunch of money at it, is what they're saying in a very fancy way. I like that. I think anybody that likes crypto likes that. It means that crypto's not going away. The new technology is here to stay, and people need to jump in as soon as possible. And by people, I mean giant financial institutions that want to control your money. So permissionless is a event that specifically is going to be in Palm Beach, Florida, on May 17th through May 19th, where over 100 companies are joining and weighing in together to come together and have a little get together and talk about crypto things. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think what's going to come out of there is going to be a lot of cool information about the space. Definitely tune in if they give you a virtual option of some kind and or they post little tidbits on Twitter, which is also an awesome place to get information about crypto. So the next one that I have for you is specifically from Blockworks on Twitter. They're one of my main news sources when I come and look at different Twitter posts, so on and so forth, little tweets. What I have here is companies that are hiring for crypto jobs as of this week. The NFL, Nike, Hulu, Visa, Meta, formerly known as Facebook. We'll talk about the Zuck a little later. Apple, Nvidia, Disney, PayPal, Google, Fidelity, we mentioned them earlier. We also mentioned State Street, which is also a big financial institution. Amazon, Microsoft, JP Morgan Chase, MasterCard, Goldman Sachs, and Bank of America. All of them want to hire for crypto jobs, so they've all realized the potential and are looking for people that know what the hell they're talking about. Not saying they should hire me, but I am. So moving on to the next section we have U.S. policymakers are working to open crypto markets to institutional investors, which can be seen as a good or bad thing as a retail investor. So here we are with the Zuck. The Zuck says, and I quote, the virtual economy in the metaverse will be as big as the one in real life. Honestly, people are kind of wild with stuff on the internet, so I don't doubt that, to be fair. Another one from Blockworks that I have here specifically companies that plan on launching their own NFT marketplace. We have Reddit, Coinbase, Instagram, GameStop, Associated Press, and something that I don't know out of all of them, which is called Rakuten. Jake, do you know what Rakuten is? I'm Rakuten. Is that how you say that? What is that?
That's e-commerce.
E-commerce. So it's e-commerce. That was the only one I didn't know. Thank you, Jake, for helping me out. I know you're sitting over there looking comfy and sexy on the couch. What I have here then is the Dot founder, which I recently found out is a blockchain, though I absolutely knew that no matter what. So Dot, which is Polkadot, which has its own coin, the founder donated 5 million to Ukraine because Ukraine opened their own Polkadot wallet, which thought was pretty cool. A literal country was like, "Yeah, we're gonna open our own fucking crypto wallet. Here you go." And the founder was like, "All right, let me throw all this fucking money at you, man. Here it is." Thought that was cool. For all you soccer fans out there, FC Barcelona, even though they're the Patriots of football across the sea, FC Barcelona plans to develop their own crypto token and metaverse, which I thought was probably one of the most interesting news stories here. So a major sports team is literally like, "Fuck it, we're gonna make our own metaverse." Pretty cool. Big one from stocks, but also not at the same time because it's involved in crypto. AMC, which was a meme pump and dump that may very well pump and not dump at some point in the future is going to start accepting Doge and Shiba in March, which is literally now. So they are accepting them as payments. So meme to meme. That's what they're doing. Thought that was interesting. Bitcoin became the 14th, not fourth, 14th most valuable currency in the world. Um, Big milestone there. Who knows how high it can get? eBay soon is going to be accepting Bitcoin and crypto payments. Cash App, which is the worst version of Venmo, is trying to create the biggest Bitcoin community out there by enticing people with little Bitcoin payments to join and use Bitcoin on their app. Crypto mining is on the rise. That is a huge topic. It could very well be a topic in the future, just based on the fact that it's becoming ginormous in the United States right now, with how many states are adopting it as an revenue to make in the state. So we may talk about that later. Ton of information out there on that if you want to do some research on your own. Otherwise, you can listen later on, and we'll probably be talking about it. South Korea elects a pro crypto president. Fucking awesome. Dubai creates a legal crypto framework to integrate crypto into their financial system. The United States wants to be, you know, obviously the United States and lead in crypto innovation. Makes a lot of sense because that's what the United States wants to do all the time. That's why they weren't all about crypto yet, because they were waiting to jump in to the point that they wanted before they adopted it overall. Payments from the financial institution Stripe, which is a gigantic financial institution, is going to start accepting payments via Bitcoin with other select crypto. On the note of accepting things and giving them to their clients, Goldman Sachs wants to offer Bitcoin as a option for portfolio diversity. I believe Ethereum's in that as well. Just the big two for now. Who knows what it's going to do later? Inflation fucking hits its highest level since 1982. That's wild. I wish I got paid more. You probably do too. So let's all just band together, the four of us that listen to this podcast, and let's fucking strike. And then the segue into what we're going to be talking about that Jake brought up earlier, which is DeFi gaming. So, welcome to DeFi Gaming, our favorite DeFi gaming platform for the blockchain and crypto space is going to be AVAX or Avalanche, and $290 million was committed to upgrading AVAX subnets this week on the space. That's me. That's Jake on the news. We're moving on to DeFi gaming. Thank you very much. I didn't pause it. I tried. Hold on.
What's up, everybody? This is Jake. I'm going to cover some DeFi gaming for you guys and what the current outlook for it is. So, DeFi gaming essentially is just a mixture of DeFi, which is decentralized finance, which is there's no third parties involved to transactions. So, when I think about decentralized finance, I think about just peer to peer and having one person involved in your transaction, nobody overseeing anything. So how that incorporates with gaming is there's no anything that you buy in the gaming sphere is owned by you, and there's no owner or like no big company that owns the actual right to your skin or your product in the game. So it's something that a lot of the gaming community hasn't seen yet, and that introduction can be an absolute huge win for more power to the gamers. So what you can do with a lot of those assets is also you can stake and earn money while you play. So the current meta right now for DeFi gaming is as you play and level up your character and own more of the skin or products, you can stake them as collateral and earn more on your equity for the game. So the whole premise of DeFi gaming is that you actually own the asset. And with current gaming, it's just sitting on the game. You can't move it into a wallet, you can't move it anywhere else. So, DeFi gaming is a huge disruptive category that can take over the current gaming trend, in my opinion. Right now, the current gaming market cap is 198 billion, and that was according to last year. And this last year for crypto gaming is 21 billion. So, as you can see, it's still pretty far into its infancy, and it still has a lot of room to go and to gain adoption. And it just is yet to see that game in DeFi where you have a lot of users on board. There's a lot of good games out there right now, but they're still waiting for that game that really brings the masses in from traditional gamers. A lot of the different wallets that you can have that you can start by playing with some of these games is MetaMask, Phantom Wallet, Kepler, which doesn't have any games on Atom yet, Engine Wallet, which they're going to have their game coming out really soon, Ronin Wallet for Axie, and the most one that you see primarily is the MetaMask or the Trust Wallet, which has a lot of compatibility with a lot of games. And recently, MetaMask just added Avalanche C-chain functionality, so that's big. That's where the C-chain on Avalanche is where most of the primary transactions take place. And right now, you're seeing a lot of the gaming sphere coming over to Avalanche because they have a unique way in scaling with subnets. So some of the games that I see on Avalanche that I think are big and up and coming ones that maybe aren't released yet. So right now there's Defy Kingdoms, there's Ragnarok, which just recently partnered with Frontier, which is a big NFT platform, who also has a partnership with Ubisoft, and they have already a giant NFT community, so they're kind of merging the two communities together. Where the next one you have is Ascenders, which is currently not out yet. But as far as visual goes, Ascenders looks really well done, and it's an open world RPG that I'm super excited for. So on Avalanche, I'll say again, there's Defy Kingdoms, Ragnarok, Ascenders, Play Krabata is also another big one that I know a lot of people like. Snib Snib. And some of the ones that I'm excited for other than that on Ethereum, there's Alluvium, which I know they had a recent small beta open for people, and I didn't get a chance myself to look into that too much, but it does look really good. Everything I've seen graphically about the game looks really good, and it's going to be really interesting to see once the game's in its final product form. As far as what I'd like to see more of the space develop is that they focus more on the fun aspect and not the earn aspect. Once the fun aspect with the earn aspect is completely integrated together, that's when we're going to see the true mass adoption of DeFi gaming. Right now, they focusing heavily on the earning, and a lot of them are fun. Defy Kingdoms, I honestly do have a lot of fun with, but I think once they find better ways and more creative ways to incorporate the blockchain with actual fun and actual trading your NFTs while you do all of this, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. Gamers get to earn more money while they play, they get to have fun while they do it, and your mom can no longer tell you that it's a waste of time to sit there and play games all day. There's a lot of other projects that I have gained in terms of the metaverse. I know that's a buzzword, but you have Sandbox, Meta, which is building their own metaverse, and Gala Games. So, a lot of those are exciting projects. It's still in very much into its infancy. A lot of these are still being worked on and adding updates. Defy Kingdoms is adding Crystal Veil soon. Ragnarok is, I don't believe, playable yet, but I would love to get my hands and try that. Ascender's coming out, like I said, soon. So just keep an eye out for those games. Focus heavily on the Avalanche chain games, and I think a 2022 year for gaming will be really good. A way you can look for good games and a way you can kind of scope out if it you can check the team members and kind of do a background check and see if they have involvement in games or if they have more of a background in blockchain. And I think the games that have a good collaboration between blockchain developers and X game developers could see the highest chance of building a strong community. Defy Kingdoms, I know offhand has that, and I know Ragnarok and Ascenders. Ascenders has somebody who has been involved in the gaming industry for 20 years, and then along with that, they have a lot of blockchain developers. I will talk a little bit about one Phantom game that I've been looking at, even though Phantom, no pun intended, is becoming a ghost chain with Andre leaving. The only one that I've so far have heard about is called Warbond, which is a tank game. I haven't done much research into if it's an actual fun game to play, but I know there's a lot of Phantom fans, and I know the price action has been pretty bad. So I want to shed a little light on maybe some positivity that's coming to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our third section, which is going to be the Curd section of our Curds and Crypto podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lineup for you here. We went to Cousin Subs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Cousin Subs for their cheese curds tonight. We always get them with barbecue. That's our special sauce for this evening. It probably always will be until we come out with our own sauce here. But we have Sweet Baby Ray's in a cup, and the things that we are going to be judging on are
Mouthfeel, breading, the freshness, inner cheese, the taste, and the squeakiness.
so we got six things for you. Meant to make it five, but that's all right. We'll make her six. So I'm gonna go first in terms of the mouthfeel. In terms of the mouthfeel, I rated it a three. I rated it a three. Jen, what do you got?
Mouthfeel, I'm gonna go with a two.
You're gonna go with a two. Can you tell me why it's a two, Jake?
The breading's very light in terms of the feel on my mouth. It's a little greasy. I thought it could have been a little more deep fried. I like it a little more deep fried. I think that's why.
A little more deep fried, he says. A little more defied, you know what I mean? But anyway, so the next one we got on here, mouthfeel for me was a three, personally. I said that earlier. There's better curds out there. I thought it was good. I thought it wasn't the best. That's why I chose a three, kind of middle of the pack. What I have for the next one here is the breading. Breading, what do you got here, Jen?
The breading was good. It was very light, like I said earlier. I would give the breading a four.
You'd give the breading a four.
Yeah.
I was a little harsh on this one. I gave it a three. I thought that most likely it probably was their fryers being kind of shitheads when I went to go get it because they're a little browner than good curds you'd probably want. Um, Jen just squeezed one and I saw the grease come out of it, so there's that. So the breading was about a three for me. Moving on to freshness feel. Freshness feel was one that I had combined with inner cheese, but Jen decided to take it upon himself to separate it because he thought it didn't make sense. But the freshness feel for me was probably a two because, like I said, I think their fryers were a little fucky tonight.
Yeah, I think it was old grease.
Old Grace. Old Grace really does it. So then, heading on to the next one, which is inner cheese, I actually gave that a four. I gave that a four, Jake. What did you give it?
The cheese tastes like a very authentic Wisconsin cheese to me. I would give it a four as well. It was good cheese.
Who knows where it's from? We're from Wisconsin. We like any cheese really, so most of them are probably getting a four. To be completely honest with you on that one, but you never know. There might be something bad out there. Next one is the taste. Taste overall was tough as what I was gonna choose because I gave a lot of threes out. But honestly, if the fryer grease wasn't so greasy, I probably would have given it a four, but I gave it a three.
I'm gonna go with a 3.5,
Three point
Jake.
five. I didn't know we could do decimals.
3.5 on the taste scale. The taste was better with the barbecue, always is. So 3.5.
That's true. That's hard because we dip it in barbecue sauce, and barbecue makes everything taste better. So that's I respect the 3.5. The last one is going to be squeakiness. I'd like to know yours on this before I answer.
0 out of 5.
You didn't get any squeakiness?
Not much
Not
squeakiness.
squeakiness. We can blame everything on the grease if we want, but in reality, that's probably not the case. Maybe they just didn't have the freshest cheese available when putting it in the cousin's curds.
I couldn't rub my curds together and hear any noise.
I also didn't feel anything on my teeth, so I'm going to give it a one. I'm going to give it a one out of respect because I did like the taste of the curd. For the eighth time, the grease was just probably a little dirty. So moving on, that's what we got for you on the Curd section of Curds and Crypto. Thank you for following along. We appreciate the love here. We hope that you try your next curds that you get into your possession with barbecue sauce just for us. We are going to be talking about Defi-Gaming in a little bit of a sense here. Let's kind of segue right into it, Jake. What do we got here?
We can talk about. I didn't really go in depth on what Defy Kingdoms is doing and a different strategy that you can do for the game, how it's possible to profit from it. So, I'm sorry, I'm eating a cheese curd. I can break that down a little bit for you guys. So, Defy Kingdoms on I want to say the 26th
I think you're right.
is
26.
moving to Crystal Vale. So before that, what they just recently had this last week is you could send your character on the perilous journey. I didn't send any myself,
But
but
I did. I sent Bjorn. His name was Bjorn. He had a lot longer name than that. I wrote a little blurb about him because they were doing a giveaway, a side quest as they call it. The Discord community under um, Defy Kingdoms was giving away 100 Jewel, which is the in-game money for those that wrote awesome shit. Now, I like to think of myself as a good writer, but there were a shit ton of entries, and I don't think I'm gonna win. But it's still pretty cool. Hopefully, something comes of that. But I did yeet one of my boys that I had as a possession in there with only a 35% chance of getting across the open sea there.
right. So that's coming. That's bringing us into the Crystal Vale launch was the start of that. So once that's over and we see which heroes, hopefully Godspeed, Jake's hero makes it.
Good luck to everyone that went on the perilous journey along with me. Hopefully, we all make it to the other side, though we won't.
Not wag me.
Not not wag me.
So I can talk about a strategy that I'm gonna do. I know everybody's a little bit different, but at least this is what I'm doing. So I have a lot of Jewel in the Harmony and Avalanche pool. What I'm basically doing is rolling over those rewards into the jeweler, and then I'm going to be bridging those rewards over to Crystal Vale.
What's a pool, Jen?
A pool is just where you can add liquidity. So if you own some crypto, you can use the DEX on Defy Kingdoms and send your liquidity to the gardens. And because you have that locked and are adding liquidity for the game, you get a reward for that.
So basically, you're putting money in to another thing that makes you money,
Right,
just for the simple fact that you're putting funds into that.
right.
Correct. That's the simplest way that I can probably put it. And what he means by DEX is it's just something that helps you transfer your crypto over to the space that you're using. And in this case, that space is the DeFi Kingdom universe, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to my strategy. I throw that liquidity into the pool, and then I collect those rewards, send it to the jeweler. From the jeweler, I will be bridging those rewards over onto the Avalanche Crystal Vale, and from there, I will single stake my jewel in whatever jeweler they have for their APR, or I will add it to their gardens, and then from those garden rewards, I will throw into the single staking on Crystal Vale. And all while I do that, I'm going to level up my two heroes that I own and possibly add another hero to the mix on Crystal Vale, looking to get one of the three unknown class. Well, I know one of the classes on Crystal Vale will be a Viking, but I don't think we know what the other two subclasses are. If you guys know what they are, please let me know because I'm interested to see what they come up with. I've heard some rumors on different heroes, but
Well, what are the rumors? What do you got?
I think one of them was a. I can't think of it offhand.
I think that's okay. You know, my speculation in relation to it, I think there's going to be a guy on a horse. I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's put a guy on a horse. Why not? Let's put a guy on a horse. Why the fuck aren't paladins on a horse already? You know what I mean? Let's just put a guy on a horse. It can be like Rough Rider, Teddy Roosevelt. Let's give him a big stick.
What we also didn't talk about, and a lot of it is overshadowed by Crystal Vale launch, is pets and what that could mean for PvP and certain things in the future. Because not many people are talking about eggs and pets. I'm still looking to get my first one.
I'm also still looking to get my
Knock
first
on
one
wood.
because I have both foraging and fishing that I do on a regular basis off of two of my heroes that I own currently, both of which are the ones that you can earn eggs from, blue and green eggs, respectively, because foraging is for green eggs and blue eggs are for fishing. So if you can find some sort of hero with, high fishing and or foraging, you have a better chance of getting an egg.
When egg.
When egg. So moving on from Defy Kingdoms, I think we gave a little a pretty good spiel about why we love it and why we think it's going to be one of the biggest games in DeFi gaming. You touched on it multiple times before as well. So let's move on to ones that are in the space now, ones that we might be, looking forward to, what other projects might be out there, because there are a lot of projects out there, and we are at a very dormant phase of crypto gaming as of this point. And the one that I'm going to bring up that we've talked about in the past is going to be, oh fuck, dude, I just forgot the name of it. What's the biggest one? The first one? Forgot the name.
What, Carvana?
No, not Crobana.
Senders?
No. Um, Dude, it's literally escaping me, and I see the homepage in my mind. It's the one that you tried and you hated.
Oh, Axie
Axie
Infinity.
Infinity, dude. I could literally see the little fucking ship in my head when I was thinking about it. And I'm like, what the hell is this thing called? So Axie Infinity, I like to bring up Twitter numbers. I know that seems weird because Twitter numbers just sounds like a weird sentence, but Twitter numbers to me mean kind of how many people have their eyes on the space. When it comes to Axie Infinity, you have around 800K in terms of 900K now. So it was about 880 the last time I looked at it. It's probably at about 900 now in terms of Twitter followers versus DeFi Kingdoms, which has about 110K. So it's pretty much 10x, 9x of what DeFi Kingdoms is. Yet it's kind of not a great game, to be completely honest with you. But it was the first one, so it is going to be a big player in the future. Um, and I think that that's something that we can kind of talk about. What do you do on the game?
It's just PvP. It's just three. You build a three NFT team, so you buy three NFTs. That the barrier to entry is pretty high, actually. Even more than what DeFi Kingdoms is. I know a lot of people see that number of spending 100, $200 on an NFT, but you have to spend that for three people on your Axie Infinity
To even
team
play.
just to play. So yeah, the high barrier to entry on Axie Infinity, and it's the fighting style is kind of like what Pokemon is you have three or four different skills, and each character in the game has different attacks. And
Which sounds good on paper, but in reality, from what I looked at, I've watched videos. I myself didn't buy into it, but Jake here did. Why didn't you like it if it's like Pokemon?
I just thought it was too cheesy. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the artwork of Axie. It's kind of reminds me of like Angry Birds, but
That's true. Now that he says that, yeah, it kind of does look like Angry Birds, which it's really not. That's not really the art style that I'd prefer either. I like DeFi Kingdom's art style because I love pixelated stuff. One of my favorite games that I've ever played is Hyperlight Drifters. I don't know if anybody that the three people that are listening to this have ever heard of that, but Hyperlight Drifters is a Steam game. It's fucking fantastic. I love it, and it's a pixelated game, like a pixelated almost open world game that you can do, and I think the artwork really reminds me of that. And Stardew Valley too. Stardew Valley is completely a pixelated game, and I love that shit. And it just looks like Stardew Valley, and that's very enticing for me. Oh my god, I thought there was a spider on me, but it's actually just my sweatshirt strings. Anyway,
so we'll each talk about. We'll speed this up here. We'll talk about what our favorite project, or one where, I mean, we know what our favorite project is, but one's upcoming that we're most excited about. Or I can say mine. I'll say mine. Mine is Ascenders. I'm really looking forward to it because I watched the trailer and it just looks really well done. And it's an open world and it's coming to Avalanche. So, two of those things I love. And the artwork is what sold me. I mean, it looks really well put together. So,
I really love this one on the Solana blockchain. It was called Guild Saga. Um, it had a lot of different opportunities for rares and different ways to look at how items were put on characters. So they even had items that were attached to characters and you could kind of mix and match, which I thought was interesting. I really liked the videos that came out and how it was integrated because you could actually use it like almost an RPG. Like you were actually having your characters go to different places. There's PvE and PvP. But the whitelist was at fucking 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. Who the fuck puts a whitelist? Which means that that's when they're putting it for sale up for grabs at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. And I missed it because I was at work. So, and it sold out within 20 minutes. So it was done. Didn't get into the space. The buy-in was 1.5 uh, Solana coin for one NFT, and I had that all transferred and ready to go, and I couldn't get out of work for it, so I fucking missed it, and now I don't have one. So,
That's a poor way to do it. I would not say that's how you should do a fair drop, in my opinion.
and it sucks because I was one of the first ones to join the community on Discord. I followed it forever on Twitter, and you know what happened? I just didn't get one because I was mid work day, and it just sucks because I really, really wanted to be integrated into that specific. It was pretty much a metaverse at that point because you could walk around, you could talk to other people through text and so on and so forth. So I really like that one. I wish that I could get in it. The ones that are for sale now online are almost double of what they were at the whitelist, and literally they sold out. So usually they have a private whitelist, which is the first drop. Then they have a second one that is open to a specific subset of the public, and then a third one that is a completely public drop. Well, they didn't even get to the other two because the first one they sold out, and they had like 10,000, I think. Yeah, they had about 10,000, and they sold out like right away. I could be wrong on that number, but that sounds correct.
So, did you say did you say your piece?
Yeah, I
What you
said
all
my
wanted to
piece.
say? Um, in terms of overall DeFi gaming, do you have anything else you'd like to go over? Or
I really like the fact that there are a lot of different options out there. I think there's really probably something for everybody. And if you go on, what is it? Is it dapps.com? Well, dapps.com, but it's not, it's
DApp Radar?
there you go, Dap Radar. If you go on Dap Radar, you can look at a variety of different games across a large selection of blockchains on that and basically pick one out that you like. I think that that is a fantastic website because it gives gamers the opportunity to choose whatever the hell they want, which is what everybody wants in life. So go to DApp's Radar, figure out what the hell you like, and find one to get into.
Before any cheeky bastards think they can get away with it, this is all non-financial advice. Everything that me and Jake say in our podcast is for educational purposes only and not intended for investing advice.
The cheese curds are financial advice, but besides that, I agree with everything you said. Well, do you want to do the exit and the exit segment here? Is that you this time to say goodbye?
All right, I hope you guys learned something, and I appreciate all of you, the one or two people listening. We are going to continue to do these every week on Thursday, and we'll continue to bring you fresh news and updates on where the current market is and where our minds are at. And I hope we gain some friends through this, and I hope you learned something.
We love you all. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.